Hello, my name is Ryan Harper, and today we're going to be speaking with Richard Taylor. And Mr. Taylor recently put together an event where 34 kids get to see the Charlotte Hornets play over the weekend. So let's take a look and see how it went.
Yes, I am from Richard Taylor, Goldsboro, North Carolina. I am an author, speaker, publisher, a mentor, radio show host, most importantly, a community activist as well as a minister.
Now, you've been doing a lot of work in your community, and I want you to tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
I have a passion for working with young children as well as those in prison. So I go to speak to the prison every first and third Sunday, but also do a reading program at one of the local elementary schools. Every Tuesday, read to the children, as well as mentor several children in the community. So this Sunday, yesterday, we had the opportunity to take 34 children to an NBA basketball game in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Charlotte Hornets played the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Now, it's how did this idea come about? Because that sounds like a whole bunch of coordination. I've read the info. It's like 34 kids and a couple of buses. No, I think it was 34 kids. So some more mentors, and it was like a whole day of fun. How did this come about?
Well, I definitely have to give credit to two of my childhood friends. It started off as a simple conversation with a friend, Tavares Wooten, who had recently attended a Charlotte Hornets game, and he mentioned how much fun that the kids were having at the game. So he saw me, he knew I was in the community with the children. So he made the suggestion, maybe we should take a few kids to the game because he mentioned how much fun the kids that he saw at the game were having. So while we were talking, my mind just instantly jumped to, not just a few kids. I think we can make this a trip for many kids. So then I coordinated with another childhood friend, Terrence Thornton, who also has an organization called Faithful Future Fathers. And I ran the idea by him. Him, and Tavares started coordinating, and it morphed into the bus getting secured, the 40 tickets getting secured, as well as the food. Donations came in from all over, and we were able to, embark on that trip where we were able to take 34 children as well as 6 mentors to the game, and we just had we had a ball, and I must thank the community as well. It started with a Facebook post on February the 28th, in which I informed the community of our goal, of our intentions, and within 10 days, because of the generosity of the community,
Right.
we raised over $4,500, which covered the tickets, the food, the transportation, the snacks, the T-shirts, everything involved, so the children were able to have a fun and most of all free trip to the Charlotte Hornets.
Right. Now, were you expecting this level of outreach from the donations for the trip?
I expected it, but you always have that what if factor.
Right.
So, but within the first couple of days, we got a few large, hefty donations, and then the word spread. And I displayed a level of transparency every day. So every day I made the Facebook post and let people know what our goal was, how much money we had attained, what the money was allocated for, and any changes in our goal. Because initially we did start off with just 22 children, but because we were able to secure a bigger bus for the same price, then we added the additional children, which of course made our monetary goal increase.
Right.
But the people, once again, they jumped right on in, and we didn't miss a beat.
Right. So now I have to ask, 34 kids, one bus, a whole day trip. How did you manage everything? Like, what did the whole day look like?
Well, we left Goldsboro, North Carolina at 9 a.m.
Oh.
most of the parents got there, pretty much on time. We had to secure breakfast from parties, so
Hmm.
I had to run to get the breakfast at 8:30. They were a little behind schedule, so I didn't make it back to the bus until about 8:50. The other mentors, Mr. Wooten and Mr. Thornton, were there loading the children on the bus. So we left Goldsboro at 9 a.m. and it's a 3.5 hour drive to Charlotte. And but these days, though, the children, most of them had cell phones,
Mm.
and they pretty much stayed on their cell phones a while. They met each other as well. I saw a lot of interaction with the different children because we took some from Wayne County. We also took some from the neighboring county of Wilson, and we also picked up a few in Durham, North Carolina. So the children were interacting with each other. It was amazing to me how they were getting to know one another and forming those common bonds. So the trip there was fine. We had snacks. We also had DVDs and movies playing. So going there was fine. We got there. Of course, we had the bathroom on the bus, so there was no need to stop.
Mm.
And we stopped in Charlotte at a restaurant when we got there called Nana's Soul Food Restaurant.
Mm.
And there, once again, we had it was once again a very nice restaurant, very good food. So all the children, got their plates, sat down and ate. And once again, they had the camaraderie, the joking, the laughing, and things of that nature. And after we finished, that's when I think they kind of got a little restless. So they were moving about the restaurant a little bit and playing a little bit and doing things that children do. Like most of the children were from the ages of 8 to 13, so of course they had a lot of energy, rambunctiousness. And after the meal, about 3 o'clock, that's when we descended upon the stadium. And at the stadium, we had about a 30-minute wait before we were able to get in. We get into the stadium. The children once again are excited. Having the most difficult thing was keeping them all in the group. Even though we had 6 mentors, the children would see the cheerleaders. I looked up, turned my head for 1 second. Next thing I know, the children are taking pictures with the cheerleaders. I'm like, where did the cheerleaders come from? So one took one, and then each one followed, and it was that was good. And then we had the lady with the stilts came out. The Charlotte
Mm.
Hornets mascot was in the vestibule, so we were able to corral them enough, use the bathroom before we sat down. But of course, as soon as the game starts, everybody has to go back to the bathroom. So that was the most challenging thing, getting the children to stay still, But once the game started, they were very engaged. They were kind of heckling. There were some Cleveland fans in the area,
Mm.
and he started heckling them. And why did he do that?
Oh
Because
God.
they started heckling them as well. So I mean, the children had a wonderful time. We was able to get a few souvenirs for them, a couple of basketballs,
Mm.
some hand wavers and things like that. And after the game, we had to wait for the bus to come around. So the children were outside the stadium dancing and just having an overall wonderful time. And for most of them, I think for the majority of them, none of them had ever been to an NBA basketball game.
Mm.
So I think they're going to remember that experience forever. And it's just something that we hope to build upon in the future. Not just taking them to NBA games, but also taking them to things like the arts or college schools or
Mm.
plays and things of that nature to further broaden their horizon.
So now my last question is going to be this. This sounds like a awesome day with you and the kids. Are you planning on doing something similar like this in the future again?
Yes, and as I mentioned before, this all came about within 10 days. So we literally
Mm.
had to scratch and claw and piece everything together, and everything turned out well for that amount of time. But next year, we hope to actually start upon it right now so we can
Mm.
start getting the dates that we want. We want to do it at least 3 times. We had a lot of parents ask, can girls go? And
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to incorporate that with female chaperones and, kind of incorporate a group setting like that as well. So we want to do about 3 games tentatively
Okay.
next year. So we can, schedule in advance and probably take a bigger bus for like 50 children. Get them signed up earlier, get with the account executive with the Charlotte Hornets and get a greater fan experience
Mm-hmm.
uh, for the children so they can possibly meet players and, go down on the court as well. But we have to do that months in advance. So we're going to try to do
Mm-hmm.
about 3, get the children signed up, get donations as well coming in from businesses and things of that nature. But
Mm-hmm.
also we want to do, like, as I mentioned, some baseball trips,
Right.
football trips, trips to, once again, plays and museums
Mm-hmm.
and zoos and things like that, educational stuff as well, because I think why we started off with sports, because most children, that's a common interest with
Mm-hmm.
most children.
Right.
It's easy for them to get enthusiastic about sports, but once we get on, we form that bond, we form that relationship, then will be easier to get them on board with things that they may not be that much interested in, but
Mm-hmm.
also may be more beneficial for them in the long run than sports. And that's what us, Tavares Smoot and Terrence Thornton, Faith for Future Fathers, we plan to implement in the future.